Oh, he was mad on the last planning.
Alrighty, we will call this meeting of the Town of New Palestine Redevelopment Commission to order. We will start our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Brenda, do you need to do a roll call?
Yes. Rachel Strong.
Here.
Buddy Meyer.
Here.
Gina Pleak. Here. Ethan Maple.
Here.
Steve Rainey's absent. And so is
Mark
Looney. He's absent.
First item on our agenda today is to approve the minutes from the August 21st meeting. Commission members should have received those via email. Does anybody have any comments, suggestions for improvement?
I'll make a motion that we approve.
I'll second that motion.
Any other comments? Everyone in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The minutes are approved. The next item on our agenda this evening is the 2025 annual spending plan. We have to have a spending plan completed by December 1st of this year that will outline what we intend to spend our money on next year. Anything that is on that form, it has to be on that form for us to spend the money, essentially. So we have gotten a spreadsheet from Steve before he left that started to outline this process for us. Does any of our committee members have comments, questions on?
I appreciate the work Steve's done. I think that it would make sense for us, because I know under new business people are speaking into this. I think it would make sense to listen to our community leaders who have thoughts and then kind of go from there.
Great. I did have one item, though, ahead of time that we have in the past paid for our professional fees, legal expenses and what have you, out of those funds, and that is not on the spreadsheet, so I believe that needs to be added.
Okay.
Am I correct?
Yeah,
Sure.
he and I talked about that.
Okay.
But that was right before he left.
Sure.
What you've got is still a work.
Sure, absolutely.
Well, it's real simple. If it's not on the spending plan,
Yeah.
we can't pay it.
Sorry, Dad. You didn't make the plan.
Awesome.
That means I can't do any further work.
We shouldn't have told them that till later.
Alrighty, well, under new business, we have three community members representing organizations within our community that we've invited to speak to us as to what their needs might be. First up, if she's ready, I have Laura Haberly with the Town of New Palestine Schools, or New Palestine Community School Corporation. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us
Sure.
here this evening. So you're kind of just wanting to hear ideas for that we, as a board, might have had.
Yeah, if you want to.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't remember. Actually, I thought when my son was working with the Girl Scout card, one of these Sure.
Understand. Okay, again, thank you for welcoming the school board. I'm currently serving as the president of the school board. And we had an opportunity both by email and then a few minutes during the end of one of our meetings to discuss some potential ideas that would be beneficial to either our students or our school community. So I'm going to read this email message from Mr. Brian McKinney, who served on our board for 18 years. He said, an idea I had was a walking bridge over 52. The town could then decorate the bridge to celebrate the town. So we have students who walk to the school, and we appreciate the work that has been done to try to make a safe area to cross, but in his opinion, it'd be a walking bridge that actually went over the road would be beneficial. Another idea we were discussing was we have a roundabout that is proposed in front of our schools, and we were communicating we were discussing the deer that's now in the roundabout and how amazing that looks, and we were talking about having that roundabout landscaped and potentially a dragon maybe there, a New Palestine dragon in the roundabout in front of our schools would be very cool. So we thought that might be a fun idea. And then I don't know that this would fall into the realm of the work that you all do, but an observation that I personally have had over the years is that the road that we have behind it, well, it kind of runs from New Palestine Elementary back behind and where our transportation department is. That road is heavily utilized by the New Palestine Soccer League, and on weekends, the parking is a tremendous problem, and it's very, in my opinion, very unsafe. So I don't know if there's some, I don't know if that would be a school thing or a town of New Palestine thing, or, but some kind of change that allowed for better traffic. That to me is a safety issue and something that would be beneficial to our community. And then another idea
Do you
personally,
happen, while you're talking about that one,
Yeah.
do you happen to know, is there sufficient width if the road was widened for, because I know cars straddle the grass, cars go all the way into the grass. I mean, people do some crazy things when they're in a hurry trying to park for a soccer game. But do you know, is there width there that if there was asphalt added there that people could drive and then you could still maybe halfway safely drive between the cars?
I believe if width was added, yes, that's what would need to happen. And, you know, on probably at least on one side, if not both. And then, yes, I believe you could safely park there. But as it is, like you described right now, it's not safe because it's just not wide enough to accommodate everything that's happening back there on weekend mornings.
One of the biggest issues with that is the darting in and out of cars. That's the safety issue I see often. Is you can't ever tell if little kiddos are coming out, and it's kind of scary.
It is very scary, and I laid on my horn and missed a child by a few feet.
Right.
Scared both of us. So that's been that's a long term. You know, that's my kids are 19 and 21, and that was an issue when they were 3 and 4. So it's been a long-term problem, and the soccer league is very strong in our community. We're lucky to have it, and lots of students participating. So, and then this is me personally. I love what Fortville has done and what Greenfield have done with their alley. They've got their alleys that are painted, and they have the lights and the benches, and they've kind of created a space. And I do believe that there are some maybe future plans for something like that. But I feel that if we as a community could work on additional quality of place spaces, that would be wonderful. That's all I have. Thank you.
Do you have any financials for any of these? Have you guys looked into any of them in terms of price? Okay.
We have no financials on any of
Okay.
these things.
Out of curiosity, when you look at some of the programs that are constantly seeking funding, are there some that come to the top of your mind? Everybody does fundraising all the time. Certainly my family's with band and with robotics and some of those things. And I know that not all of those pools can be filled with all of the money that comes in for schools. Are there any that stand out to you that are just either starting, working at, trying to figure out some of those funding solutions? And I don't want all of them because they all could be there, but are there any
Exactly.
that stand out to you is my question.
Are you talking directly in relation to the schools?
Yes.
I will say that we are blessed in our community to receive a fair amount of donations every single month for a lot of our organizations, but robotics is an extremely expensive endeavor. So although we receive a lot of donations in that area, that is one area. And we have it from, we have elementary kids participating in robotics all the way up through our high school. So across the board, that area needs funding. Band always needs funding. Band's very expensive. So you hit the two that immediately would have come to mind. But we have theater, we have, I could list them all. Every organization, it could always benefit from funds, but from the perspective of the school, I think, and we had some staff members work really hard to help us get a grant from the state to help put towards robotics, but which is wonderful. But that is an area where they can always use some support.
Anything from, and I'm just asking questions at this point.
Sure.
Anything from the leadership development side that makes sense for partnerships between the school and the council or the town in ways that there are collaborative opportunities for either new programs or leadership development or things like that with students or staff that come to mind?
Nothing specific comes to mind, but I will say that as we're looking at the changes that are coming with diploma requirements from the state and with potential need for apprenticeship programs and school to work opportunities, I believe there's all kinds of room for partnership. We just don't know exactly what that's going to look like.
Okay. My main reason for asking questions is to just get you guys to think on some of those elements. If you pass that on to the other members and just think, I think the RDC and the council and the town really want to find ways to connect and partner with the schools. So any ways, even if they're weird. I mean, you started off pretty big, walking bridge over 52. That's a pretty incredible vision.
Yeah, and probably expensive.
And probably expensive. And I don't even know how high that sucker has to go.
You see them all over England. I studied in England, and they were everywhere. And then we really don't see them all that often in the United States, but they are a thing.
Their
Usually in
trucks are
bigger
shorter.
cities.
Seen them.
Their trucks are
Their
short.
trucks are shorter.
See it? You make a fair point, Mr. Meyer.
I would think another thing is to consider like the opportunities for like our career fair, which started last year, looking for opportunities to expand the career fair. Also, Jeremy Large leads a service learning class, and those students, and they share projects, and they're looking for donations. And so I think even going to even his class and listening to them and asking them questions, because they're all about how to better our community, and their ideas will move you. But I think that could even spark ideas too, of maybe some further connections. And Jeremy is also our work coordinator, work-based learning coordinator too. So he's just a great avenue. But those students are very committed and are looking for opportunities to grow and to support our community and serve.
Thank you.
Any other questions for?
You may ask all the questions you want. I just might not have good answers. But I appreciate you giving me some things to think about and take back to the team. I will do that.
Great. Question.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Next up, we have with New Palestine Main Street, Julie Lucas. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening. I know a couple of you, 3 of you, I guess, and nice to meet you, Rachel. New Palestine Main Street, we have a vision. Our mission statement is we're dedicated to support, promote, revitalize, and maintain the town of New Palestine. We're a 501c3 organization, totally volunteers. We have a great group. We are about bringing our community together with fun family events throughout the year. We have a couple coming up on Saturday and one again in December. We follow the America's Main Street 4-point approach, which I think goes hand in hand with what your committee is. It's an economic vitality, design, promotion, and organization. We have a few ideas that we've just kind of bounced around, and I went back to notes from last year, and I'm going to bring forth a couple of those again. Vintage street signs I'd like to see in the main corridor to start with, between, say, the bridge and maybe through Gym Road or even to the Lions Club area. I do have a couple quotes coming. I have one with me, the other one did not come in, and just some design ideas that I can share with you. Just to give you a visual of what we're maybe going to look at. And these are just, again, just ideas to throw out there to give hands-on.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We have a great downtown area. I wish we had a little bit more retail space available, but that may come over the years. But regardless, I'd like to keep our historic district that we do have. I know that there's a town square in discussion with the community and going forward further west, but I'd really like to preserve this portion of our small town and just pay homage to our history as we did with our mural on the west side of the Elite Building. And just a real brief amount that they sent to me that I really haven't had a chance to review, and it really probably doesn't have all the signage. We would be looking between $50,000 and $55,000 if we did total signs, wrap some stop signs, do the speed limit signs. So there's things that we could work with, but I just wanted to give me a ballpark. And if it was anything that was of interest, we could go further and count signs, know how many we'd actually have to have. So just an idea to give you to start with on that one.
Is that an estimate, as you said, just Main Street?
Yes.
Okay.
And I just briefly went on Google and I counted streets and corners and just kind of shot them between 45 and 50, maybe high or low, but just to get a ballpark idea to start with. I know there's probably grants out there that we could work with as well if it was something that was over the amount that RDC would want to put in, and Main Street could go after also. Another idea that we've kind of had, and kind of jumped the gun, I wanted to get to a school board meeting or at least talk to Dr. Pleak and maybe see if there's a way that we could do a long-term lease with the grass area where we host all of our events and make that a pocket park. Maybe put up a sign similar to what Fortville, I love Fortville as well, and just put up additional lighting, some seating, make it an area not only for our events, but for the community in the center part of town to enjoy and partake in. I'd also like to partner with you to do some facade upgrades or do some grants in partnership with the town or the RDC to improve a few of the facades through town, and we all know which ones those are. And if we could do some beautification and historic preservation, once again, that would go in with our mission and what we work with American Main Street. And I think with all of our revitalization programs, we'll work together to attract visitors. Our residents and visitor shopping could come up and build our tourism as well. We all want to make it a better place to be. Green space is a huge demand. We're hearing it on the comprehensive plan study that I'm a part of as well. So I think if we could just have a little pocket area here, we build some out west and wherever we can find space. Any questions or thoughts?
No questions, but thank you for sharing your thoughts.
Absolutely, yes, thank you.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it.
Here's our flyers for
Okay.
October and December. There's one of each. Yeah.
I will do so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Mr. Robinson with the town of New Palestine.
I'm just here to answer this question that brought up the project. So I'm just going to list one of them was the roundabout landscaping at 300 west, 500 west, 300 south. The state fencing that goes to this end of the town, the black fencing that we put in the Main Street improvement that's rusted, to replace that. Solar lighting on the trail between Jim Road and Depot Street, flower baskets on the light poles, and then painting the 44 light pole the bases because the salt has gotten to the bases of it. So with the roundabout, talking with Brian and the county, what the budget they spent, we feel comfortable that between $10,000 and $12,000 to have our roundabout landscape. We probably look into whether it be the deer, the rock, the grass, the flowers. I think that's yet to be determined. We'll have somebody kind of give us a point of direction on the design. But that number we're comfortable with. The state road fencing, the complete fencing was $15,122.99. That's all the homes that are there. And they actually broke that down. We wanted to just do sections of that. So
Where's that fencing at, Jim?
when you come into town, you look up, where the yards have been raised, that black fencing up on top. If you walk through there, it's all rusted. It's delaminated. The steel that they used, I think, the steel that they used just delaminated, so we would replace it with aluminum.
And you're talking on the east end of town here.
East, and actually it's right out here in front of the insurance company and just a couple doors west here. So let me see. So that was $15,122.99. The 44 light pole, the basins, to have those painted was $2,200. The flower baskets, 10 of them, was just a little over $2,000. And then the trail lights, 10 of them, was $3,600.
Any questions for Mr. Robinson?
Tell me those last ones again, Jim. The flower baskets were,
10.
Yes, 10 of them. We figured we'd do, there's 44, so we'll do about every fourth pole we count. Start out with large flower baskets.
the price?
They were close to $200 a piece. What we could do there is, we talked with Yvonne, but to have those filled, we can actually maybe look at businesses sponsoring those 10 or families each year, because each year they'll have to be replanted. So
And then the cost on the solar lights for the trail was,
that was $3,600.
How many lights is that?
10.
10. Okay.
are those ground solar lights?
Yeah, they're like trail lights, and they've got a little solar head that's on top of them.
They're like the
Like
ones
3
by
feet
the
tall.
Woodland Terrace? They're little path lights there,
Yes,
similar to
similar
that?
to that. Yes,
So they
Yep.
sit up about waist high?
little, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Other questions, comments?
One thing I did, when the young lady, she mentioned the school traffic with, and it's very bad for the soccer. You know, maybe that's something that we could look into as a traffic study for the school as a whole. Ryan, do you know possibly what that might run? The traffic, schools are our biggest traffic driver twice a day. And whether it's parking for events or just bringing people into school, but maybe looking at a traffic study for the school in general, just so the town could use it and the school could use it as a driver to figure out if there's ways to help us.
We have new magnetic traffic counters in
Uh-huh.
the county, and I talked with Gary Bull, our engineer. That might be something we would be willing to work with the school on and set up some counters there. If I could just be notified of the bins and stuff, and we could possibly do a count there.
With the count though, can we, add to that, like, maybe come up with a plan or, for future, the impact of the school, how we can kind of better the traffic patterns or,
Yeah, we could look at that.
Yeah.
Sure. And the Steinmeier Road addition
that will help. Yes,
will help.
tremendous. Yeah. Yeah, thanks. Hey, that's it.
Thanks, Jim.
Yes, thank you. Alrighty. I believe the goal then is for the committee to come back next month and work on this with Steve to finalize our list before it has to be sent to the state by December 1st. So we will, I guess, table this to the next meeting. Is there any other new business for the committee?
Do we have, I see that we have the next dates in October and the 18th of December. We don't have a
Yeah, we will
November
need another
date.
one.
We need a November.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So do we want to try to nail that down?
The 20th is a board member or a town council night. Sorry. Would that work for everyone?
I plan to be here. Yes, that would work for me.
Does that work for y'all? Okay, so we'll plan on
Dr.
meeting.
Pleak, does that work for you?
What time? It'll be 6 o'clock. Yeah, I think it will work.
So we'll plan on meeting on November 20th at 6 o'clock to finalize that. Any other new business for the committee?
I would just, I know that where are we on the wraps?
Oh yeah, can we get an update?
Yeah, the wraps have been picked, and I think they've been out to measure them, so we should, hopefully weather permit, we'll get the wraps on. Let's wrap that up.
We'll just wrap it up.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Did we order the signs for that we had talked about at the last meeting too?
We did. Yeah.
Okay,
they've
I
been-
just
There's
haven't.
one on the park, there's one on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
I just haven't been out that way lately. I'll have to make it out that way. Great.
Signs that identify projects brought
have
to you
been-
by RDC in your community is well, the purpose of those. They're just yard signs.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Well, if there's no other business for the committee this evening,
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second.
awesome. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
you.
Commission members, we need to